Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day. To start things off, Ethereum co-founder, his name is Vitalik Buterin, unveiled the roadmap for what he described as the coherent whole of Ethereum 2.0 in a keynote presentation at the DevCon 4 conference in Prague just a few days ago. Dubbed Serenity, the project encompasses multiple projects Ethereum developers have been working on since 2014. Ethereum 2.0, he says, is a combination of a bunch of different features that we've been talking about for several years, researching for several years, actively building for several years, that are finally about to come together in one cohesive whole, end quote. Ethereum users and analysts have long debated the potential time frame of the network's upgrades, which have seen recent updates pushed back. That's an understatement, in order to tighten up technical prowess. Among Serenity's constituent parts are a transfer to proof of stake algorithm, a project known as Casper, scalability improvements, V's process known as sharding, as well as various other protocol enhancements. Prior to the big launch, developers will make some final tweaks, said by Buterin. These will include stabilizing protocol specifications and cross-client testnets, a testnet integration at least to implementation of Ethereum 2.0. The additional testing is important, he added, having learned from Ethereum 1.0 releases, he said, which occurred too quickly. As for when the vision will become reality, Buterin remained coy, saying only that it was really not so far away. So not to speculate more than I should be allowed to, between this news, between the news from the Omise Go team, between the fact that the Omise Go team has pretty much stated that Plasma is more or less done, but they are doing extensive tests on it, and this is now the second time that Vitalik Buterin has come forward talking about the updates and upgrades that will be placed on top of the Ethereum network. The other time before as well, this had to be in middle September or somewhere around that time, and he said that he thinks people will be shocked because the upgrades and the things that are going to be built on top of Ethereum are not that far away. Kind of similar to exactly what he said over here. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's been years now. It's been years. We thought we would have this around 2016. The market, not that the market didn't really call for it. It seems like everyone was kind of doing their own thing. 2017 took a lot of people by surprise. Like, no one expected the crypto market to go, like, Ethereum went from $8 to $1,300. Like, this was completely unexpected. And what we have right now is, or are, an enormous amount of stockholders, if you will, the very rich people who have put a lot of money into Ethereum, even normal people who maybe have a couple of Ethereum. I think people have grown to the point where they kind of just want to see something done. There was someone it was a couple of weeks ago, he said, we're at the point in cryptocurrencies where it's no longer proof of concept. You have to like show that you actually have something. It's great that you've been talking about upgrading something for the last couple of years, but you have to now show that you have this update that other people have been waiting for. 4 years is a very long time, especially in cryptocurrency. I, for one, hope, and I'm trying not to speculate or even get my own hopes up because I am a major Ethereum fan, that this could all be hopefully coming to the light sometime early 2019. At this point, since we are in November at this point, I'm going to say I have high doubts that all the testnet runs and stuff like that will be completed in November or even in December. I say the first 3 months of 2019 would be my time frame for us to get a bit more news, especially since we constantly have hints that it is not really that far away. This is going to completely push Ethereum to another level that people in cryptocurrency yet thus this far have not thought possible. The same exact way. What's that guy's name? Was it Joseph Rubini? All I remember is Rubini, who said a couple of weeks ago that he was talking about this project is trash and this is nothing and cryptocurrencies can't scale and they'll never be able to scale. And I don't know exactly where he got that exact part from in his head. But when we do finally have, first of all, proof of stake is going to be the complete game changer because everyone, there have been many other cryptocurrency projects who have stated that first of all, that they have proof of stake. But apparently when you read around in multiple developers, I don't know if it's just them kind of slinging mud, but they all kind of claim in some way that this other project has proof of stake, but they have not done it correctly. Moving Ethereum from the energy intensive thing where, you need thousands and thousands of miners working inside of this, cold storage facility in order to be able to create new coins, to simply being able to do it on your normal computer is going to be completely insane. And also the gigantic digital elephant in the room that is the 100,000 to the 100 million transactions per second that has been said by Vitalik Buterin in the past. Very interesting. Let's hope that this ends up happening soon. But at this point, I think that since the market has, cooled off, if you will, this year, I think it's okay to give them a couple of extra months just to make sure that they do this completely correctly, because Ethereum is in essence trying to become a world computer. Like, it's not just trying to become another payment system. Like, they are trying to literally make sure that everything can be built on top of them. That like all payment networks, like everything that's happening around the world, like whether it be apps or dApps or contracts or all these other things that you do in your everyday life, especially when it comes to websites, can be built on top of Ethereum seamlessly. And this could be, I want to say, the future of everything. So saith Vitalik Buterin. But yeah, let's move on. Next up, Bitcoin and altcoins have been a new institutional investment class since 2017. This was said by U.S. multinational investment bank and financial services company known as Morgan Stanley. They said this in a report that they released on Halloween. The document, titled Bitcoin Decrypted, A Brief Tech in and Implications, end quote, sees the newly bullish Morgan Stanley weigh in on the surprising developments in cryptocurrency that continue to the present day. According to its latest findings, the surprises to come from crypto in 2018 are a strong formation of new funds targeting the sector, as well as the growth of cryptocurrency-tied futures. Despite the persisting bear market this year and the accompanying price drop, Morgan Stanley continues, Bitcoin and altcoins have constituted a new institutional investment class since 2017. Researchers also stayed positive on decentralized technology, describing it as making the world better. The document stands out in its positive nature and marks one of the strongest signals yet that Wall Street is swiftly becoming enamored with Bitcoin in particular. In discussing their own entry, investment giants have routinely highlighted client demand as motivating them to engage with the industry. Like I said before, we've gone to a point where all the institutions, not to say that Morgan Stanley hated cryptocurrencies, but a lot of them made sure to stay behind. And once again, I will never, ever tell you what to do with your money, but pay attention to the names that are being dropped, to the people who are talking about things when they talk about, at this point, especially when Bitcoin was 8.5, 9 years old, talking about how strong, it is and how great this is and all the new institutional money and how this is a new investment class. I will put it this way. I feel very sorry for the people who have left the market and are not paying attention to the market anymore. Not to say that the market is going to go up tomorrow, but you have to understand, when you have some of the richest organizations and companies and blah, blah, blahs in the entire world talking about that crypto is a new asset class, and people in Wall Street are starting to pay attention to it, and there's going to be big money flowing into it. If that doesn't... I can't even think of a phrase for that. Like, if that doesn't get your attention, then maybe crypto isn't for you. That's the nicest way that I can think of saying it. We have so many... I've stopped putting a lot of like the price predictions and stuff like that in a lot of my videos. They were fun at the beginning, but a lot of them have kind of been all over the place. But when you hear about what people are talking about, like where Ethereum is going to go, where Bitcoin is going to go, and this is all specifically just because of the money that is going to be coming from Wall Street. And therefore, once the biggest domino starts falling, this is when we already have news that the other, what are they called? Like the major schools in the US, like, was it Yale? Was it Harvard? One of them has like started investing in cryptocurrencies as well. And then all the other smaller institutions. It's going to be something completely major. Like, this isn't something that's going to go away in a year or two. Like, cryptocurrencies are not going to completely falter within the next year and a half. I always wonder, like, what we're doing right now, what kind of legacy this will create for our families. And I mean, it sounds a bit cheesy, but I do really mean that. I'm sure you've all heard the stories before of people getting into other investments, or mining gold, or doing this, or the first people who got into Google, and the people who bought Apple stock like in the very early 90s before they even came out with those really interesting looking, like, colorful laptops and stuff like that. And now these people are multi-millionaires, if not billionaires. Like, it makes me wonder exactly, where we are right now in this space, especially since people are talking about that cryptocurrencies more or less, is anywhere between 1994 and 1999. I wonder where we will be when crypto actually ends up hitting 2018. Air quotes. I think the industry has a very bright future. And I mean, you only have to look at what the major institutions are saying about this space as well. They've been trying to get into the cryptocurrency space for quite a long time. And now that they're here, there are essentially trillions of dollars waiting at the gate to be able to kind of flow through. But yeah, from here, let us move on. Next up, so all these stories kind of tie together, and I think it's quite interesting. Ledger, the hardware cryptocurrency wallet maker, plans to add support soon for more stablecoins, including expanding Tether or USDT's usability across all its product and services. Currently, the company supports Tether for its two-handed storage product, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Blue, but it intends to add the US dollar-linked cryptocurrency to its institutional vault service. Despite USDT's recent loss of parity with the dollar and renewed questions about its issuers' reserves, Benjamin Soong, Ledger new head of operations for the Asia Pacific, said the token remains popular there. So I saw that and I was like, that's kind of interesting. And then lo and behold, as you start like scrolling around and looking for other cryptocurrency news, I was like, why would Ledger be adding Tether? It was more so like, what has happened that I missed that would make them announce that they are going to be adding more support for stablecoins, including Tether? And then we have this. So the people from Tether, I guess they got pretty upset. If you have not noticed, the last couple of weeks, they have not been the most popular crypto stablecoin token asset thing out there. And yeah, now we have this. Stablecoin issuer Tether Limited confirmed on Thursday it was banking with Bahamas-based Deltec Bank and Trust Limited and published a letter purportedly from the institution as evidence of its reserves. The company, which issues the controversial Tether USDT stablecoin, has long been under fire over concerns that it does not have the fiat holdings to fully back the tokens in circulation. It had been rumored for weeks, for months, for years to be working with Deltec, but did not previously acknowledge the relationship. They said the acceptance of Tether Limited as a client of Deltec came after their due diligence review of our company, this said by someone from Tether. They also included notably an analysis of our compliance processes, policies, and procedures, a full background check of shareholders, ultimate beneficiaries, and officers of our company, and assessments of our ability to maintain the USD peg at any moment and our treasury management policies, end quote. To show proof of its bank balance, Tether released a letter dated November 1st that appeared to come from Deltec, confirming the portfolio cash value of your account with our bank was $1.83 billion as of the 31st of October. Yet, there is no person's name attached to the letter, and the signature is a simple cubic curve. Further, the letter contained two notable caveats. It was provided without liability, however, arising on the part of the bank, its shareholders, directors, employees, or officers, and the letter is solely based on the information currently in our possession. So this is kind of, obviously this is going to make very big news, especially with Tether having been accused of market manipulation. Yes, they were accused of that as well, especially when it came to the Bitcoin price of 2017. And then over the last couple of weeks, we've seen that Tether has also been depleting their own reserves, as in they went from 2.8 billion Tether that they had circulating, and now it's somewhere, what is it, like 1.79 billion or something like that. The last time that I checked, or rather in yesterday's video, this is what the numbers were. This is the actual announcement on the Tether website, tether.to, of them announcing that this is apparently real. I mean, at this point, I don't even know anymore. If they have the documentation to back them up, then yeah, why not? It doesn't seem it would be out of the realm of possibility that over the I think Tether has been around for a year and a half, 2 years. That's a pretty okay long time for them to be able to have the at least the 1.7 billion. I could definitely see that being a thing. Anything over 5 billion would be a little bit suspect, but I feel like that where they are right now could possibly be completely true. And this is maybe why, first of all, Tether for the longest time was the only stablecoin, and they were probably going to always be the only stablecoin had they not had any type of, drama or accusations or anything, things against them. I feel like Tether would have continued to be this way, but because there was so much speculation around Tether and we've had all this information about them potentially not being real and them having to, I think they lost 2 other banking partnerships, but apparently they found a new one. I think it's, what have you. I think Tether is probably real at this point. I think they're trying so hard to prove themselves. I am, for one, I myself will be very happy on the day when Tether is, one, not in the top 10 cryptocurrencies. That seems completely out of line. And 2, when we have at least 5 other coins who have probably passed by Stellar in some sort of way, because at this point it's just a bit too much. It's in the news every single day, and I don't think it's necessarily affecting the markets. But when you have news that the printing of Tether could have in some way influenced the price of Bitcoin in 2017, which could lead people to believe that the Bitcoin's price could have been faked simply by printing new digital coins that someone else didn't have, kind of the same way that we see governments printing fiat and stuff like that. It leaves a sour taste in your mouth, if you will. And I'm sure a lot of people don't really care about that, and this is why we have like 37 other stable coins around the world right now. But yeah, like I said, all of these things tie in. So I assume the decision was made to add support for Tether and or other stable coins. Sorry, I don't know. I think my mic just messed up. Don't know if you guys even heard that. I heard it in my head, rather in my ears, not in my head. Right, let's move on from the Tether news. Next up, on the 1st of November, the Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission, or the SFC, announced that virtual assets will now see a new regulatory approach by the body. The FSC defined virtual currencies as a digital representation of value. Examples include cryptocurrencies, crypto assets, and digital tokens. Furthermore, the regulatory authority opened the announcement by stating that this is the move by the SFC has been taking in order to guard the interests of those who choose to invest in this asset class. The body will also impose licensing and other terms and conditions on the firms dealing in virtual assets and portfolio management for digital assets. Ashley Alder, the chief executive officer of the SFC, stated, "The measures announced today allow us to regulate the management or distribution of virtual asset funds in one way or another so that investors' interests would be protected either at the fund management level, at the distribution, or on both," end quote. He also spoke about building a safe environment for investors and achieving effective results for those involved in the space. He said, "We hope to encourage the responsible use of new technologies and also provide investors with more choices and better outcomes," end quote. Interesting how other countries can release a statement and give a bit of clarity to the space, especially the Hong Kong Securities Commission, what have you. This is very good news. I am still happy that other countries are finally coming forward, giving information and news that their people in those countries have asked for and have wanted for quite some time. It seems ridiculous that it should have taken this long, but 2018 has been a very odd year for cryptocurrencies in general, so it's very nice to hear that we do have some type of clarity, at least in Hong Kong. I hope that this does continue and spreads to other countries. I guess, we have more or less clarity in Japan. We kind of have it. No, not really in South Korea. No, South Korea needs to get on board as well. But good job to Hong Kong for their information. Last up, going to breeze through this one. The long story short of this one is, we thought, a lot of people, analysts thought that not even 2018, October, last month, that we would have some type of a break in price, that we would have some type of an indication that things would end up moving upward in the price of not only Bitcoin, but other cryptocurrencies. And what they have drawn from this and all these little beautiful charts that you see right here, it says it's somewhere around here. Yeah, it says the historical data shows that Bitcoin has always reported gains in November, except in 2011 when it dropped 8.6%. It's also worth noting that Bitcoin's best ever monthly performance was a 467% rise seen in November of 2013. That is kind of insane. If Bitcoin goes up by 400, almost 500% in November, that'd be a very nice holiday season for every one of us. Everyone is doing like extensive extensive chart reviews and trying to figure out when or if the market could potentially move. There was something I obviously don't have it in this video. You don't see any more tabs over here. There was someone who was talking. He said that they don't believe that the Bitcoin market is going to move for another 18 months. That is a 1 in 8. They said that they thought that Backed wasn't going to have any movement on it. Any upgrades or updates that we had to the cryptocurrency market would do completely nothing. And even the full rollout of the Lightning Network would be nothing. That we need some type of proper clarity from the SEC, and therefore the market wouldn't move at all. First of all, what I don't understand about a large part of this, like I get the graphs, I get the technical analysis, like I've watched other videos, I've understood it, I've studied it a tiny bit to try and understand it. Get it, got it, good. But for 18 months for the price of cryptocurrencies not to move anywhere simply because of what the United States' SEC says is a little weird. Something like I said, crypto is a global game. It's a global market. I don't feel like that the market of the entire rest of the planet is going to rely on the words or paperwork of 5-6 people on the SEC in order to get moving. The market, right, I don't have the actual CoinMarketCap thing open right now. The market is still in green, albeit, 0.15% up and stuff like that, but we're still in the green for the moment. I know that the market desperately wants to break out. I don't know for the life of me what the catalyst will end up being, but everyone has been doing like an enormous amount of research. I haven't had them in the other videos simply because a lot of the information that people have been giving, if I can say that, has kind of been all over the place. People have been talking about specifically like the very beginning of the Bitcoin market, where we are right now, somewhere in the middle, the things that we've seen before, how high prices were in 2017, and therefore the new graphs show and indicate that we are going to hit highs of $65,000 Bitcoin by December, and we're going to hit so-and-so on this, and they just seem a little bit too out there. But for what it's worth, we are not alone in our wanting for it's very weird. Like, don't you feel like it should just be like this universally global mental consensus of just move the market up? Like, what's the issue? Like, what could the market possibly be waiting for? Like, I don't know how much good news, like all we've had is good news. I'm a little confused, if you haven't noticed. All right, everyone, that is definitely going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. I do appreciate all of your support. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.